Hi everyone, my name is AJ and thanks for joining my channel. If you joined me today, it's because you're interested in the 2024 Landcruiser and getting some more information about it. Now, as someone who owned several 4Runners, including a 4Runner Pro, I'm an off-roader. I've been very excited to get my hands on the new Landcruiser. And there isn't a single Toyota I haven't driven in almost 20 years. I'm gonna take a look at the Landcruiser with a different set of eyes. I'm also gonna wrap it up with what I like and don't like about it.
I can't believe it. I just don't believe it.
And let you decide for yourself if the Landcruiser 2024 that we have here in North America is worthy of its name. Now I'm gonna break them up into several different videos just so that you guys can choose which content is more interesting to you. Now the 2024 Landcruiser only comes with one engine option. For now, hopefully that will actually change, but it is a very, very interesting engine because it's a little different than any engine Toyota has ever made. Coming in with a respectable 326 horsepower, but a phenomenal 465 pound-feet of torque on a 2.4 liter, 4-cylinder turbo engine. On top of that, the torque comes in full at a mere 1700 RPM. Now, while it may be an odd duck in the Toyota lineup, as I'll explain in a minute, this is an incredible show of Toyota engineering. Just a magnificent, if there's one thing, especially for off-roaders, we'll never have enough of, is that torque. So whether you're off-roading, whether you're towing, whether you're in difficult conditions, or even just driving up a hill, you will notice that torque coming to your aid immediately. Now, Toyota tells us you will get 22 miles per gallon on city and 25 miles per gallon on highway, and somehow that comes up to an average of 23. I'm guessing they figure you're going to be on the city more than the highway, and they didn't just put it somewhere in the middle, but there you have it. That comes out to an average of 10.2 liters per 100 kilometers. Now, the reason why I was saying it's a little bit of an odd duck is they put the direct injectors right over the valve covers. And what this does, when speaking to some technicians, this makes it far more complicated to work on this engine and, of course, more costly. And as with all Toyotas today, the engine is an aluminum block, normally something we would see in higher-end vehicles, but every Toyota has them. And the service intervals are every 16,000 kilometers or just under 10,000 miles. Now, while here in North America, we know this simply as the Landcruiser, it really is internally known, even with Toyota Canada or Toyota USA, as the Landcruiser Prado. It is not the full-sized one like we used to know. It simply outpriced itself out of our market. And here we have the Landcruiser 250 or the Landcruiser Prado. And the front really does give it that Landcruiser look. There's no denying it's just a beautiful, beautiful looking vehicle up front. We have the beautiful heritage Toyota look. I just love the look of this grille everywhere you look, either squared, rectangular. The theme is just everywhere, and I love it. They had to go contrary with these lights, of course. The 1958 edition, which is the first year the Landcruiser hit our shores in North America. So this again is just a throwback to that. Personally, I like the squared headlights. I think it's beautiful, but I definitely do not oppose the way this looks here. And then we have the millimeter wave radar embedded in here. Very nice. Your front camera. And one of the cool things about the Landcruiser, unlike any other Toyota so far, is every piece you see here is like modular. So if you hit this and you need to change it, you don't have to change the entire bumper. You don't have to change the entire front end. And I love that they did that because they're basically saying, we expect you to use this vehicle out in the field, and if you do, and if you damage it, we're gonna make sure that whatever happens will be at the minimum. So that's a great thing with Toyota, and they leave a lot of movement here. You can really push on the vehicle, and it just gives just enough to be designed in that fashion, and I love it. It's just, if this car's behind you, just that bold expression of Landcruiser, and there you have it. Now, moving to the side of it, This is one of my favorite things on the entire side of this vehicle. I love that they transplanted it here. Has that rectangular design cue that I'm hoping you definitely see by now. It's not me being crazy. And just, again, very, very clean lines. The rock rails, I love the rock rails. I know the Nerf bars, they're easier to get in and out of, but this here is basically like a rib cage underneath. So if there's like a fallen tree or something, you can actually just roll right over it and not even worry about what's gonna happen underneath because of this guy right here. The only thing that I can see different that you're gonna notice is these flaps. It's kind of interesting. They have this little whatever piece holding it up. I think it's gonna age terribly. I mean, all the mud and sand and gunk this stuff's gonna go through. I think it's gonna look disgusting after a couple of years, but that's just me. I do like the look of it. It looks very cool. The wheels on this one, they're the 18s, so you're not gonna get as much of that hard drive that you will in the premium version with the 20-inch. Better for off-roading, but if you want it for the city, the 20-inch on the premium, that's absolutely the way to go. If you're up in a colder environment, you can always put some, nice 17 or 18-inch all-terrain aggressive tires on it for winter or as a secondary set if you really want to go out mudding and play with your Landcruiser. A lot of black piano trim all around, so it really gives it that higher end look, but it's still a little odd to me that such a high-end vehicle will have black trim like this under here. I don't get it. I mean, you're in a price range, the higher end price range of any Toyota vehicle that you can buy. Toyota usually color keys any trim on it, but this one, they just leave the black plastic. Now I get in the 1958, if you're buying the base one, you want to go off-roading, you want to use it, it has cloth, you can upgrade on it. But you know what? For me, the reason why I have a Pro, I don't want to do all that stuff to it. I want it to come from the manufacturer. I'm a purist. I want it to come from the manufacturer, and I want it to be exactly the way they built it, and I will do very minimal to it. For a high-end vehicle like the Premium, come on Toyota, give us some color key panels all around it. It's still a beautiful, it's not a deal breaker, and I think Toyota knows it. And truthfully, because I've been working with Toyota so far, just so you know, I'm not paid by them. This is not sponsored by Toyota in any way. This is by enthusiasts for enthusiasts, and I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. But they typically hold back. The first ones, it's like the first wave, it's like the first iPhone that comes out. They know there's gonna be a lineup of people.
Shut up and take my money!
And they're gonna sell out in no time, and then they're gonna hold some of those extra things to give it some flash and some extra sexiness coming out in the future. So if you're not absolutely wowed by the Landcruiser, you need a little bit more, I'd say hold up. I'll get to that at the end about the speculation, but hold up for now. Now we're gonna get to the back of the Landcruiser. Every angle you look at this vehicle, it just has such a road presence, a beautiful road presence. Again, this big, boxy, muscular Landcruiser. And I do love the fact that they have a pop open switch here. We can pop. And so one thing I will mention when I do pop them open is you really have to slam it shut. Like you can't just like lean it down. It's not closed. And if you don't know that it's not closed and you try to pop this open, it will refuse and you're just gonna wonder what's going on. If it's not opening, guys, it's because this is not closed properly. And most people, they don't wanna slam their window. But this one, you gotta give it a slam. Here, everything's embedded. You have your proximity sonars, and of course, the famous whatever the heck this is here. I like that they're covering the tow hitch. If you've had a tow hitch before, you know they get ugly, they start looking rusty. This is a good start, but a very strange, off-putting look to me. I mean, I've heard people referring to them as a diaper. I mean, look at it. Now for my final thoughts. It's been 40 years since the Landcruiser Prado has come out and finally landed on North American shores. I can assure you that the executive branch of Toyota are keeping a very close eye on whether North America adopts the Landcruiser or not. We love the 4Runner. It's such an icon to us, many of us. It has a cult-like following. And will the Landcruiser be able to pull some of the sales away from the 4Runner? I can assure you, yes. I will tell you this, they are two very separate machines. On the one hand, the 4Runner still has that beautiful ruggedness, But some people just don't want to look that rugged. They want to have the same capability should they choose to use it. But this one, the Landcruiser, it's an off-roader in a tuxedo. And so for the urbanites and for those who want that capability, this is the one for you. And as much as we love to see this Landcruiser on the road, on the highway, you will notice it when it drives by you. And I'll tell you this, if we do adopt the Landcruiser and Japan sees that we love it, if there's one thing that North Americans love, we love special editions. We love something unique. We want something about it coming from the manufacturer. And I would not be surprised to see that perhaps a Pro is in our future, a limited version over the premium that may have some of those extra features that I'm hoping to see. Maybe even a Trail Hunter version of it coming out fully ready to go toe-to-toe with the 4Runner. Who knows what's in the future, but one thing's for sure, it is an exciting time. I hope you enjoyed this video and hope to see you again. Keep revving, guys.